Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Good start to the weekend. Happy New Year. A merry belated late Christmas. Happy holidays. And my absolute favorite, season's greetings. Last week we had the hangout and we just missed New Year's. So hope everyone had a festive end of the year. So we got my other two buddies here. I got Gordon EE. Uh, Wolfie has been detained temporarily. He was trying to smuggle. And I'm sorry for the pronunciation. It was a rushed voicemail. Poutine in from Canada. Unfortunately, he wasn't the brightest about it. He shoved it in his pockets and down his pants when at the border crossing, and the dogs tore him up. So he is in the hospital recovering from those dog bites, but the gravy did help congeal and help some of the blood coagulate a little bit sooner. So we're hoping to wish a good recovery for him.
Fuck them.
So, but the lesson there, kids, is don't smuggle food in your pants around hungry dogs. So, but we're ready for it. We're ready for a new year here on the ROC channel and for RHP. And sorry if I'm rubbing my hands a lot and that's distracting to you all. They are dry as hell. I've been working a lot outside and with dry stuff last 2 days. But anyway, so I'm gonna start in the upper left. EE, tell us, how was your holiday? Did you get anything good for Christmas?
Holiday was fun. It was good. Yeah, no, I mean, I got the missing link Optimus Prime, which was I had a couple people heard me say it. It's surprisingly more fun than I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that being said, I'm still not going down the rabbit hole. But if they do Dinobots, or this might be something I very, very much cherry pick going forward.
Yeah.
For certain characters, but yeah, no, it's here on my desk. It's beautiful. Looks like a G1 Prime, and yeah, no, yeah, I got that. I got that Skeletor throne also for Christmas, the Masterverse one that lights up, which was nicer than I thought it would be.
Was that
Also,
mass production? Was that mass production, or was that like someone like
oh no, yeah, it was made by Mattel. Made by Mattel. But yeah, no. Besides that, yeah, Christmas is good.
Good. Did you get the missing link? Was it the truck?
The whole Prime. Yep, the whole Prime.
Nice. I didn't even know that thing had my thigh swivel on mine was super freaking tight. I didn't even know it had thigh swivel on it.
I didn't know it had thigh swivel. You were not that you mentioned it. My mines are just as tight. I didn't try.
Yeah, I don't want to break it.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's fine. I mean, look. I mean, to be honest, when it comes to the G1 toys, right? I always felt the alt modes were the best modes to look at. The car modes were always done. Like their bot modes never really looked great to me to begin with. So this Prime is in truck mode and will probably stay in truck mode.
I think there are caveats to that. I think like the Dinobots are a good example. I think they're good in either mode. Yeah,
but I think I think when you look at the line as a whole, I think I would say 75% probably look better in their alt modes and cars and trucks than opposed to their bot modes. So I've always, at least that's how I've always felt with the G1 toys. So
Yeah.
it's nice to have this, and then I mean, now I have two. I have an actual vintage one that Lou sent me, right?
Hmm.
That I was in, that I had to it was beat up. I had to order pieces, do some part swapping, became a little project, fix the chrome on it, which was fun to do, you
How'd
know.
you fix the Chrome?
Chrome pen?
Send me a picture of what you used it later on, if you don't mind.
Yeah, it's called, where is it? Was it the Molotov liquid chrome? Yeah, Molotov liquid chrome. Yeah.
All right, cool.
And I will say, when they say don't touch it for 24 hours, don't touch it, that first coat, for 24 hours. Definitely could have done a better job on that chrome than I did, but it worked. And, I had to buy a junker trailer, take some pieces off of that one to get one complete full trailer, bought some repro labels, and yeah, now I have a G1 Prime and the missing link one. But, you know, Lou, thank you for the gift. It was very much appreciated when I got it.
Now, are you talking about the Prime, or are you talking about the Eagles blanket? Because we know you're such an Eagles fan. We lose you.
I'm here.
um, how like do you get any joy out of piecing something together like that?
I can't say that I've done things like kit bashes and things like that before,
Well, not so
but
much kit
but
bashing.
it was enjoyable. I've always thought, like, when, GI Joe vehicles. I've always, I see the junker ones at the RetroCons, at the NJCCs, at all these toy shows. I was like, oh, I wonder what it would be like to buy this now and start hunting down and trying to piece together pieces I need to build a complete one.
Mm,
Um, Definitely added a little fuel to that fire, but I don't know if I'm there yet. We'll
gotcha.
see. I think the next meetup is ZoloCon. Is actually, I think, the next show I'm going to, end of February. So I'll see how I feel as I'm walking around the floor, see what I buy, what I don't buy. And then it's like, I didn't spend any money today. Let's buy something stupid and go from there.
Yeah, this was. I think I started this last year or the year before. No, 24. Yeah. So like that was my list of stuff, like parts and pieces that I needed to get together. It's not a big piece of paper, but um, I got most of that stuff. Like this is just an old list. My
Did
most.
you write that in cursive?
No, that's just god
Okay.
awful. That's just awful. Left-handed,
Jesus
left-handed
Christ.
Oh,
handwriting.
you're a lefty. Yeah, no
Mhm.
wonder why you're so fucking cruel and evil. All right, keep going.
Yeah, but add that list on that little post-it. Rev's leg and Grease Pit's big sign are the only two things I've still got to track down. Um, and like that's just fun. Like, oh, this is complete now. Like, um, I've got all the things for
Yeah.
this, that, and the other. Like that. Like I really like. I kind of enjoy that. Especially when like you find someone on eBay that puts something up. Either they don't know what they got, or it's a really good deal on something. Um, what was it, like broadsides missile? I needed one, and they were all going for anywhere from like $20 to $40. And some dude put it up there for $10. Buy it now. It looked good. You know, free shipping. Like that kind of stuff hits. Like I really enjoy kind of doing that kind of stuff. But so, anything else to add?
Yeah. Like the way I'm picturing it in my head is like, this will be something to do when I go to these toy shows, because I don't really buy much at these toy shows anymore. Anyway, what I collect is never really there.
Mm,
But then it's like, oh man, do I really want to get down on my knees and start digging through these part bins? That sounds like a lot of work. It sounds like a lot of work. Like, you'll see these guys at these shows with these bins full of just parts and parts under their tables that you got to bend down and dig through, and it's like, my back hurts just thinking about it.
yeah,
So we'll we'll
I've
we'll,
been
we'll
there.
see. We'll see. we'll see how these shows go this year. Part of it is I'm anticipating Hasbro bringing back the 3 3/4 Joes with this 375, with this 3.75, this 375 subline that they are supposedly going to be doing in 2026.
Mm. I like I'm looking forward to that. Like so, and I'll get to it here in a little bit. But like I'm looking forward to that with the Joes. So
It look, it's for anybody listening, it's not confirmed. It's not even a rumor. It is just my speculation on what they can do in that size that makes sense.
I
And I
don't
know
think
they have the classified line. Don't get me wrong, but I with them owning the Joe property, seeing what Haya has done in the smaller scale, really they're just mini calcifieds. Maybe Hasbro will take a shot at bringing back the 3 3/4 line.
yeah, it's saying like I haven't heard anything official either, but I don't think you're the only one that thinks that, and not just with Joe's. It could be several other things. You know, maybe they even know with the HasLab Tron failing, maybe they'll bring it to a Tron burst or some bullshit.
Yeah, but
But you
I
know what I'm
mean,
saying. I think they'll do it. I know Star Wars
already
eclipses
has their small
Joe's,
scale line.
but you know, I think it's there. I think potential's there.
Yeah, I mean, look, it does work. Like you said, it works for Star Wars 2 scales, right?
Hmm.
So,
Does it?
eh, look, say what you will about Black Series, it's been around for a long time now, and it's still going, whether we're happy with it or not. Obviously, it's selling enough for them to keep making more for whatever the reason is. You see, they stopped Power Rangers because it wasn't working. So something in the overall scheme of this does work for their Star Wars stuff.
Mm.
Say what we will about the figures, still pumping them out. And it's been what, over 10 years for Black Series?
Yeah, addiction's a hard thing to break.
Yeah, well, it didn't work for their Marvel because remember they used to do the Marvel Universe stuff, the small in scale,
Mm.
and you had the Marvel Legends, and Marvel Universe did not last as long and has been gone for a very long time. I don't see them doing it back, but I mean with Joe, I mean that's what it was. That was the original, right?
Again, and I think it's got to do with price. I still think a
I
lot
think
of this
part of it. I think you're correct. I think everything that's going on, and it might be cheaper, and you can get more figures in a crate, in a what's the term? What do they call shipping
wave,
containers?
wave. Oh, yeah.
Shipping containers shipped over. Then you can maybe a 6 inch figure. Who knows? They have their reasons. Say what you will about Hasbro. Hasbro has been around for what 100 years, almost 100 years old. I guess
I'll take your
someone
word on
there
it.
has to somewhat know what they're doing. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And I know I will not be trading out the classified collection until I'm way into that 3 3/4 collection, and I know that I got everything I wanted out of the collection. I'm not going to take the risk and dump the 6 inch, and then the 3 3/4 don't take off, and then I have nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty much done with classified anyway. So it's okay. And that was a long opening. So go ahead, Gart. How was your week?
Oh, that's okay. I got nothing. So
That's it. Nothing.
Did you
I'm
get your Aldi's in the mail yet?
yeah
Finally?
yeah
Okay.
yeah.
'Cause I
That
know
that that
the
showed up.
first set got lost, right, or something.
But it didn't get lost. They decided, hey, we're not going to deliver it and lie about it. I guess because it said that I was in a gated community or something. I was like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, but say, I've been to your house.
And then it
I
took
don't
them
remember
2 weeks
past the
to
gates.
yeah. Then it took like 2 weeks to decide to come back to the house.
Gotcha.
So I thought that was strange, but I did get the stuff. No
Ain't
chase figures.
same either. No chase, and I'm actually glad. I didn't really want the chase figures. Maybe the Megatron. Um, that would have been it. So I'm glad I got the core characters I needed. You know, anybody that doesn't know, check out those Aldi figures, and they're not bad. I know they don't transform, but they're done really well. and they got a lot out already.
You know, I
Yeah,
like them. I just don't need. I'll get into that here later, but I just
And
don't need.
last thing I'll say about it: if you're a Legends collector, right, their mini bots look better than anything New Age and Magic are doing. If you don't care about your mini bots and not worrying about transforming them, they'll go much better.
yeah. It's not little panely nightmare messes.
Exactly.
But yeah, anything Gort or
No, I was being serious.
oh okay.
Gort's been playing Dragon Age all week.
Yeah, I just played a lot of video games.
See, it's
Um,
something.
yeah, that's about it.
Blizzard had their winter sale on. I got Diablo 2 for $13, so not bad.
I've been last thing I've been doing a binge watch on The Lord of the Rings for the first time in a very, 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 very long time.
I wanted to do that while I was off, and it just didn't happen.
When I threw my back out shoveling snow last week, that's so when did it snow? Friday into Saturday.
Mm.
That Sunday, I couldn't even get out of bed, so I just watched all the Hobbit movies, and now I've been watching the extended versions of all of them. It's weird. HBO Max had the extended versions of 5 of the 6 movies. The first Hobbit movie, they don't have the extended version available to watch. I don't get it, but
That's something that's turned in. Like, so the Hobbit is, and I think I like the Hobbit a little bit more than I do the Lord of the Rings.
oh god, no.
Um,
Scott, Joan.
Personal preference. But anyway,
That was one book that they decided to tear up into 3 books.
I get
They,
that.
they didn't even put all of the book into them.
I,
3 movies.
And they added shit that wasn't. You left shit out of the book, but then you added shit that wasn't in the book. It made no sense. I know they made some changes. They
Oh,
made
yeah.
changes with the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but it was still pretty close to being accurate.
I get that, and I'm not talking like Lord of the Rings is here and the Hobbit's here. I'm talking like 9 and 9.2, right? Like it's. But anyway, but like we don't have
Wait, so The Hobbit is 9.2?
maybe I don't know.
It,
I'm not saying that's. I'm not saying
if I remind you of Legolas jumping on falling rocks to stay on top of like a bridge, like midair, can we get it down to a 4.2?
That's Legolas.
In the Battle of Five Armies, there's a scene where like a bridge or some rock formation is shattering.
it's a tower that's collapsed and it's falling
slow.
over this
It's
way, and
slow
the
motion of him like jumping up this fucking shit, dude. That movie's fucking retarded.
I won't go that far as Gort, but yeah, I will not say they were better than the Lord of the Rings
No.
trilogy.
But anyway, we don't have all of that to say this is we don't have cable, and so we used to watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and like we've tried over several years to try to find like a decent viewing of it, and everything is just it's crap. So we've taken to in the morning on Thanksgiving we watch the extended Lord of the Rings. I'm sorry, the extended Hobbit movies, all day. So. And then side scroll. Thanks to everybody for all the left-handed love there. That sounded wrong, but yeah. So the only left-handed person in my family. So I'm also the tallest. But
Just real quick, just to answer Scott, I played through Dragon Age Origins and all of the like all the the expansion and the DLCs, and then I started on the second one. And I've played all these in the past multiple times, but it's been a while since I've done the first one and the second one. So blasting through
Great
those
games.
and get into Inquisition.
I did
Yeah,
Inquisition. It was last year. I think we were talking about it when I redid Inquisition.
yeah. Yeah, so we got I have 3 good games to play, and then it all ends there.
so is Dragon Age like a high fantasy game?
Yes.
Yeah. It had dragons.
Oh, and age.
Yeah,
During the Age of Dragons.
it's a good series.
Yeah,
The first game, I mean, like the graphics, it's not particularly dated. Like it isn't, it's not. It's never bad to look at.
Yeah,
But the talent system and stuff is
great story.
not the best. It's not bad. It's just it feels repetitive. And when you're choosing stats, like if you're putting in between say strength and dexterity and stuff like that, it's easy to make a mistake because let's say you're a warrior, you want, oh, I want dexterity so I can have two weapons and go chop things up, but you need high strength to wear the best armor. So if you put too much in one place, it kind of limits you somewhere else. But the truth is, unless you're playing on the hardest difficulties, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter for that game.
No, it's but it is kind of a bummer when you went one and not the other, and then you got to really wait so you can rebuild talents and stuff. But I know that after my playthroughs like forever ago. Like this first game came out 2009. It's a long time ago. So
gotcha.
I knew what to do. Understood the assignment this time.
Like I said, I got that Diablo 2, and yeah, like I'm looking at the graphics on it, and I'm like, I remember when these were cutting edge. When you just watching it, like playing this game, you're like, holy shit, this is awesome. You know,
Yes, it does, Scott.
Scott asked a stupid question.
No.
Oh,
No, he said the soundtrack still slaps. He's very on point. It does. Still can't say the best stuff for that second game, but that like the first and the third, like that's good stuff.
that's funny. So I've been on vacation since 23rd, I guess technically, and I usually mainly use this time to get stuff done at get stuff done around the house and kind of catch up on World of Warcraft and things like that. So I've been playing. I've been wanting to play World of Warcraft. I just haven't really gotten into it just because I'm like, it's like the stuff that's going on. It's a lot. Like there's this event happening, and then there's this event happening, and it's hard to do a little bit of everything with feeling overwhelmed by the whole thing. And so one of the things they've introduced is housing. So you can like get a plot of land. If you're a alliance, you're in this island. If you're horde, it's this island. Um, and like each island is kind of broken up into its own little areas where like you know this seems like farmland, this seems like mountain forest, this seems like like the undead area, like that kind of stuff. So um, I just been kind of getting into that, build my house, decorating it with things, and catching up on some of the old content in order to get like decor. So like you have to earn, like some stuff's just given to you, some stuff you can just go buy, and then like some things you have to earn, like decor wise. So been kind of messing with that some, and uh, what you were like when you were talking about class fives earlier, and I said I'll come back to that. Like one of the things I've been doing is every couple of years I'll try to go down to my basement's divided into two halves. One's like a living half, and the other half's like my furnace, my water heater, all that crap, storage. And I'll try to go through things and um, I started condensing stuff, and I'm like, I've got all these classified Joes that are either still in a box or no place for them. I've got some on both shelves behind me on the bottom shelf with the vehicles and things, but I've got so much stuff, and I'm kind of at that point where I'm just like, you know what? At what point does it become I've got this, um, and I'm not getting any pleasure out of it anymore because it's a burden. I've got so much crap that's in a tote, you know. Um, so I'm gonna be looking to move some stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna be completely out of classified because I've already been cherry picking stuff. And I'm already at that where even the stuff I've cherry picked, I'm at that point where I got too much of it. I
What
want.
kind of totes do you have?
Uh,
He doesn't care what kind of figures you got boxed away. What kind of
No,
totes do you got?
I'm going somewhere with this. What kind of totes do you have?
uh, so some of them are just like like you go to Walmart, you spend $7, and it's like a gray tote or a black tote or a
Uh-huh.
green whatever.
Okay.
Those, and then recently I got some like heavier duty sterilite ones where it's like black with yellow lid and they kind of nest into each
Oh
other.
yeah, I know those. Okay, so let me tell you, this is where you've made the mistake. You needed to get clear totes. That way, when they're stacked up, you press all the cool stuff to the side, and you can still look at your toys.
Yeah, I had a feeling that's where he's going.
Clear plastic breaks, buddy. So let's see. To,
The other
to answer
stuff
some
doesn't.
questions,
Come on.
I don't have any buttons, so I'm answering some stuff in the chat. Just Jeff, what fireplace? My Horde has got a Tust fireplace, and the Alliance has the rustic one. Do I think the Bears will win this weekend? I think if they score more points than the other team, I absolutely think they will. And I'm sure I've got Rubbermaid totes down there. It's just sometimes it's a hodgepodge. Because some of those totes down there are 25 years old. I had them when I lived out at when I still lived with my parents. But
So they can rent a car. Nice.
what? Oh yeah.
Keep going.
Normally I'm the one with the bad jokes. But yeah, like had a pretty good Christmas. I felt like I was doing what I could with the wife's gifts. I was like, I think this will work, and I didn't know I didn't know how successful I'd be, and all this, and then come Christmas morning, I definitely, if there was a competition, I won. I definitely won. It's nothing I'm gonna put out in the public, but yeah, I definitely won that. So, and she knows why. But other than that, it wasn't too bad. Just getting stuff done around the house. I'm already prepping my garden for next year. I've already got some beds made. I ordered them on Thanksgiving during Black Friday. Put them together. Got them outside. I got some stuff going on out there. I want to get done. I know, like the last 2 weeks, like it doesn't seem like I've been off for 2 weeks, but also it seems like it's just flown by. So yeah, but it is what it is. So what did I? Oh yeah, I won the if my wife and I's gift giving was a competition, I won that. I wasn't sure I was going to win, but I definitely won that. So um, yeah, not too bad. So Igor, either you all want to go first for what you want to talk about tonight?
I've already exhausted Dragon Age, and I haven't done shit for weeks. So you hope you got something.
Oh, Scott, I'm sorry you don't have fun, Scott. I'm sorry that you all don't enjoy fun.
Well, I mean,
Before you go, I'm gonna play into what Scott's saying here. I said I didn't get anything because everybody in my family, everybody's old, or it's all like little kids, and I get presents for a lot of people. I don't get anything. Audrey didn't get me anything. My wife did not get me anything. I got her a bunch of stuff, but I told her, and she knows I don't care because normally we don't do gifts, but we had a Christmas tree in storage for like 10 years that we haven't been putting up. So I finally put it up this year. I was like, well, we're not going to not have presents on the first Christmas tree in this house. So but that's why I did that. I got her a bunch of random stuff. It was a lot of pickups in the stores and just silly things. It's just most of it was just to make her laugh, but she enjoyed it all. But yeah. That's just a little more perspective. But yeah, my wife's been sick for weeks. I've been staying away from her. I got nothing to talk about. I will no longer interrupt you, E.
Until the next time.
Yeah.
Until the next time.
Yeah. Until I need to discuss your totes also.
I got 4 totes total. all from Target
Like for everything, or just your
for
classifieds?
everything, for everything.
Well,
For
he's
for
always selling collections and throwing out dioramas, so there's always room
two
in these totes.
two are filled with art supplies, and the other two are whatever the toys. Um, that being said, question. Well, not question, but recently this week it was announced by Hasbro that they are canceling the HasLab Cantina orders for the Mexico buyers, right? Um, and there's not much information as to really why. I saw it on Yak Face's Instagram post. He posted a message. They are refunding people's money and giving them a 1,500 uh, credit. I believe it was. It's not in U.S. what
Mm-mm.
they're giving them, but it equals to $83 worth of in U.S. currency. Um, I mean, with all the HasLabs that we have had so far, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is the first time we've seen this
Where it's just been canceled to a
just
specific
being
region or
canceled,
country or something.
just in general, and I mean, yeah, just being canceled in general is part of it. I mean, it was fully backed, fully funded. Well, not, I don't know. All right. I don't think it hit all its tiers, if I remember correctly. I think the Cantina missed the
It
last
missed the
year.
last figure,
Yeah.
the Wolfman.
But it hit its fun, it hit its funding backer. It hit several tiers, and this being Star Wars the Cantina, which now that also came with the sisters, right? Which is what I think was the main draw of this particular HasLab. The sisters that everybody thought that would never be made were now made. These buyers in Mexico are not getting them.
That's some weird ass shit. There's no better way to put it. Like, what's going on that this country's not?
A specific location does not get.
Yeah,
Hmm.
there's got to be some politics and bullshit going on there. Like beyond just like tariffs or some other bullshit. There's got to be something going on.
So let me see something.
Did we find oil there? I mean, what's going on? There's got to be some backroom bullshit happening. It's just that just seems weird.
So I'll read a part of it. We deeply regret to inform you that due to a problem in Hasbro's global production, we will not be able to deliver this item. HasLab Star Wars Cantina Vintage Collection, Most Isley Cantina Deluxe. Um,
Now
it's
it's
also important to clarify that this situation is not related to the Juga Tbilisi collect. I don't know what the fuck that word is or pronounce, but rather to a process directly connected with Hasbro and its international production chain.
They just needed to post up that picture of Han Solo. It's not my fault.
love that. Um, is there? I haven't seen the cantina since the HasLab was live. Is there anything in it, on it, coming with it that could seem culturally insensitive or anything?
I don't think so. I could be wrong, but not that I know of. Hasbro's pretty good about that, about what they put out like that. That can be, which is the reason why certain things only get released in either um, Pulse exclusives. All right, thank you, Esteban. I still don't understand why toys and bicycles have anything to do with this. This is said, toy and bicycle collectors. Yeah, okay. Um,
Well, have we vetted
but
Esteban? I mean, is that really? Can we trust that translation?
I hope so. I hope I didn't post something I shouldn't have. But yeah, no, I find it interesting. I mean, if I was in Mexico and I ordered this, I'd be pretty pissed off. I mean, I'd be very pissed off because now, just for the figures alone, you're gonna have to. Um, okay, Esteban, thank you for the clarification. Appreciate it.
Oh, so that might be it.
Okay.
If you weren't ordering directly through Hasbro, like if you weren't doing it through the crowdfund or whatever, because and again, I'm assuming that each region country kind of has their own version of the HasLab. Um, but I guess it would be like if Big
Well,
Bad was
that's
specifically
basically
Canadian.
now that Esteban brought it up. I remember we were talking about it the other day. From what was said, that's basically the Hasbro Pulse site for Mexico. That's
Okay.
where you go. So it is still through the main Hasbro campaign. It's not like if I ordered it through BBTS, if that's what you're thinking. No,
Okay. Okay.
you know, um, or maybe you don't call that Esteban. It's not. That's not. All right. So I'm confused. I don't understand. Again, that just makes it make less sense. Why are you not delivering these orders to them?
So with what Esteban has added to this, I'm going to assume it very well could be tariff shit because that stuff's been back and forth and up and down. You know.
So I had posed that question when we had a little conversation the other day about it, and and I could be wrong. I don't see how U.S. tariffs play into this because they're not made in the U.S.
No.
unless they're being shipped to the U.S. first and then being redistributed to Mexico, which I don't think they would do that. So I can't see how tariffs um is playing a part in this.
Yeah, Scott. I was just thinking because it was a U.S. company that
Yeah, no, yeah, but
somehow we get roped into it. Blah blah blah.
I don't think
Mm,
tariffs have anything to play in this. I think there was literally my theory here, right? And it's just a theory. They enough were not made. Somehow they screwed up their production, and it's cheaper to refund them and give them an $83 credit or US dollars than go back to the production to the factory and have these made.
mm,
And the place that gets screwed out is probably might be the country that ordered the least amount.
gotcha.
That's why Mexico was on the chopping block. Um,
I don't know. It's one of those things like a company can put out, "Hey, this is happening. Sorry, our bad." You know, and it's ultimately like I'm assuming that it's not the website's fault. It's Hasbro coming to them and saying, "Hey, we can't fulfill this for
mhm.
insert reason," and it's the site that's going to be probably taking a decent amount of the hit. Just but they're doing what they can to make it right. Kudos to them. Um, but you're going to have people that are like, well, screw them, screw Hasbro, blah blah blah. But as well as I do, they're going to be going, give it a couple weeks, couple months, they're going to be going right back. I mean, how much have I fuss about Hasbro making hollow figures, and I'm still buying mainline crap for now. You know, um,
So I mean, I mean, I get what you're saying. I think this is a little different, just for the simple fact that like this is a HasLab. This is a once in a lifetime thing.
hmm
You know what what people are going to have to go through now, and what they're going to have to pay if they really want this cantina in the aftermarket is going to be a lot of extra money. I think those sisters are going to get really expensive once this thing fully releases.
mm
Um, and I mean, if that was, let's say that was, which I still think was like the biggest motivator in buying that set. Like, what do? You now have to deal with the aftermarket prices on this
mm.
stuff. It would make me a little leery. It's a little different than Walmart. Speaking of Walmart, again, fuck you, Walmart, for canceling one of my pre-orders, right?
When are you going to
Because
learn?
well, when they stop making them Walmart exclusives and I don't
Uh,
have to buy from Walmart, then yes. Um,
what are you looking for? If I'll see it, if I see it, I'll.
it was the Vintage Man at Arms for Masterverse. It's not the
Okay.
first one they've canceled on me. But I know that I can probably get one from. I mean, I know enough people that have been able to find these and have looked for these because they will be in stores, right? You can still find this stuff in stores. You're not going to be these customers in Mexico. They're not going to be able to be like, all right, well then I'll just
Well,
wait for it to go on the Hasbro site, or let me, or are they going to wind up in Target so I can just start hunting my
well,
targets?
yeah, but we've seen after the fact sometimes these HasLabs, maybe it's that once a year thing where they show up a bunch of them on the site. It's gonna be real funny when there's a whole lot of cantinas on there one day.
That so they've done that
And
once so far.
if they do have that quantity, should be going to Mexico first.
Hmm but I think they've only done that once so far, where they did the HasLab Vault thing. Um,
It's been
and
twice.
I thought it was once, but um,
We'll just say you're both right and say 3 times.
well,
They
definitely was
might
three.
not have called it Hasbro Vault each time, but they've done it more than once.
Um, but besides that, like, yeah, ba- Black Black Iron Hasbro's part right now on this.
Mm. Yeah, I know. Like, if it was something I was in for, like, I'd definitely feel the way about it. Um, but as I've gotten older, I'm like, screw it. You know, it is what it is. I mean, out of my control is out of my control.
Yeah,
But don't get me wrong, I'd still be pissed. Like, I'd still be like, the fuck. So, just duction.
good point. Yeah, I just don't know, and I doubt we'll ever really know the official answer as to what happened there.
Yeah. I'm curious if, though, behind closed doors, if this is a someone's getting their ass reamed situation, or if this is a, all right, don't let it happen again. You know, 'Cause and honestly, we don't. And Brent, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's no way to find like what numbers were just like just Mexico or whatever. Um, that that thought has now left my mind. So sorry. um, but it sucks for those for those people that did lose it. It does suck for them, and it is an anomaly. At least it's not something that happens more than what this one first time, right? Something like this has happened.
That I can think of, yeah. Like I like again, I don't get why you. I mean, why not make the orders right? Why not tell them, hey, it's going to be delayed, but we'll get you your stuff? Like I don't.
It's got boiled down to money, dude.
It does, yeah. I mean, and but how much?
More than they're willing to pay. I mean, that's the short of it. They're going to look at some kind of cost analysis of how much is it going to cost us to fix this versus what's it going to cost us if we don't do this, and say what their statement said. You know,
No, you got a point.
I mean, they're not really going to be. Let's just say that it's 5,000 orders. Okay, yes, they're out of that money, but if it didn't get made or whatever the reason, um, they're going to be out of that money. But if it didn't get made, or if it was short production, then they're not going to be out of all the money, whatever the case may be. 'Cause we don't know if this was what Brink said, like that it just didn't get recorded, and like they didn't know about these 5,000 orders, or maybe the container fell off the ship. Like that happens, right? I mean, we joke about it, but it happens. Um, it's one of those things to where they're going to say, how much does it cost to fix this versus how much does it cost to just say, sorry, can't do this. Our bad. Because people are still going to buy this stuff. It's the likelihood of someone's getting that mad about it and saying screwing it and just being done, pretty slim. You know.
I don't know, man. Like I mean, this is one that would really, depending on how bad I wanted this. Like if this was like the Snowcat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or or is there something I really, 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 really wanted? Right. I could might see myself being like, you know what, I'm not dealing with you guys no more.
And I get that, but how many people other than you, like what percentage of collectors is going to do that? Like, yeah, if you're like, wow, 1,000 people did that. Well, if the collecting community is 100,000, that's 1%.
You know,
You know,
what they
or
what
half.
honestly what they should do, that $83 should not be a Hasbro credit. It
Of course,
honestly it honestly should be like a Visa or whatever gift card.
was it a
Mm.
Hasbro credit or was it a credit to that Mexican
Well,
online store?
according to what I'm here from what it says, it looks like it's a credit for Hasbro because it was Hasbro's who put out the message.
Hmm.
So again, to help them offset the cost of buying whatever they have to buy and hunt these down in the aftermarket.
Hmm. So, what do we? Are there any listings for these sisters online? Give me a second. I'll check out eBay. But I mean, I'm just curious if there's already anything up for them. Let's see here. Um, all five figures, just local eBay, US stuff. All five figures for the HasLab Cantina are 386. One sister is 125. And I'm only seeing. All right, there's two of them that are loose. Australia's 366.
Yeah, and this isn't even out yet.
Yeah.
So when it comes out, the prices will go up. People have to wait to see what stabilizes, and then go from there.
Well, I don't know
Uh,
if they're AI or not, but I'm seeing open box pictures
I don't
of.
think this canteen has been released yet. Am I wrong?
Let's see here. Yeah, and share screen and eBay share. All right, y'all seeing what I'm seeing?
Yep.
So take that for what you will. I don't know.
Okay. That's most of the cantina is out. Okay.
Yeah.
And then someone said it hasn't come out. So who knows? All right, whatever.
We know it's not out in Mexico. We know that for a fact. So it either came out last summer or it has never came out. Ooh, you know what we have here? We've got ourselves a Mandela effect. Maybe Esteban is living in one reality where it was delivered and it has come out, and Jeff is living in another one. This is a whole Bernstein Bear situation we got going on right here.
Hmm.
Realmhattan Project bringing it to you first, folks. You don't get this stuff on the other OC channels.
Schrodinger's cat.
Good job, Brink. They're also a style of chips, apparently, as well. Jeff, you just keep living in the reality you live in, buddy. You do the best you can. So, but yeah, I mean, I think in short, it sucks. I don't think $83 is going to set off that $300 ish cost.
No, but it helps.
Yeah, but it doesn't help because, like you said, that $83 is on Hasbro's site, right?
Exactly. That's what I meant. Like if it
You're,
was
you're not. They're not going to be selling these sisters on Hasbro's, site. They're going to be. You're going to be going to eBay or whatever version of eBay is for other countries, but um, to get this stuff, all of a sudden now you're. How much was the cantina? I'm going to assume two. I don't know. It's Star Wars is my bag, baby.
canteen was a lot more than you would even 200.
I don't know. I'm guessing.
Oh
I don't
God,
know.
wasn't it like four? I mean, there were two versions. There was the deluxe version and another version. So, um, I don't remember off the top of my head. That was where you'd have to rely on someone like Brink and his charts or Esteban who has all the answers. or Scott, who thinks he has all the answers. So
I don't know. We'll go with 4 because I'm seeing it here. A deluxe one sealed is 575. Point being, um, now you're paying um, now you're paying almost as much as what you pay for the cantina for 2 figures.
mm,
Two. Scott, I may be because there was a lot of dumbasses online. I'm probably one of them. Yeah, bring all them people driving up here coming into Southern California to get their HasLabs. Everyone's
bring,
got a PO box in Southern Arizona.
hey, whatever works.
So, anything else good for the calls there on that one?
No, I mean I think we beat that topic into the ground enough.
Okay. Um. So, I'm sorry, I've got a program that wants to. My computer's getting old, and the program constantly wants to open, even when you don't click it, and then it won't. You close it, it opens right back up. Anyway, um, but I know Gore. Based on what you've said, I'm assuming you celebrate Christmas as well to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to talk about like that. What are things that you remember as a kid that made Christmas special to you? The holiday time, not just like Christmas Day. It could be the lead up to it. It could be that moment after Thanksgiving, whatever. What is it? When you were growing up, what was it that you looked for that made it for you? Like you got that warm fuzzy feeling. And then what are things you do nowadays, whether it be for just like your immediate household or like I know you got kids. Like, is there something different with you being a parent that you're like, I like this for us, but I like doing this for the kids, anything like that, and then chat squad hop in, what do y'all got? Cause I want to hear what you got. Cause like, and does anyone want to go first? I will if we don't, but
You can go, Joe.
all right. So for me, growing up, um, we lived in a house that was built in the 1920s, and the ceilings were upstairs were like 12 feet tall, 14 feet tall. It was some stupid number. I don't know why they were, but they were. Um, and so, but that's where all of our Christmas decorations were kept. Um, and I remember going up into the attic, and what I knew to me symbolized Christmas was starting was that smell, that old wood, probably asbestos, an insulation smell. Like there was that this attic had a specific smell to it. Um, and if one of y'all got the buttons, want to highlight some of the stuff in the chat squad for the group, but um, that's what started the holiday season for me. And then it, it was a crap ton of boxes. The boxes had the smell of the attic and stuff like that. And it was all these old things that like my mom's like, oh, it's here in the storage. Like my mom's like, oh, this belonged to your great grandma so and so, or people I've never met. Because when I was born, all of my no, it was not Baltimore Brink. I know that for a fact. Um, but like when I was born, all of my grandparents and great grandparents were dead except for one grandma. And just getting that down, hearing the stories, and then as we went was putting the stuff up, And then when we would decorate, we would have the radio on playing music, and this was back before if any radio stations played Christmas songs like 24/7, it was like maybe Christmas Eve and into Christmas Day, and then that was kind of it, right? It wasn't that 2 days after Halloween and Christmas music's on 24/7. Um, but so like we wait to hear that occasional Christmas song or the what was it? Grandma got run over by a reindeer. So like those kinds of things. And hey, Brink, I think he was a Navy proctologist, if I remember correctly, but Jeff's going to have to correct me on that. Um, but then something I started as a kid was like I started decorating outside. Like we would do like inside stuff, but we wouldn't do anything outside for the most part. And so I think at one point as a kid, and this was back in the days of like there was no LED lights for Christmas strands or anything like this. This was mid '90s. I think I had about 15,000 outside lights, which back then was huge. Out, and that wasn't counting like the light displays. Like we had a snowman that would tip his hat and stuff like that. But those kinds of things
Mhm.
really meant something to me growing up. And then earlier in the chat, like when Scott was like him and Andre don't do presents, and Gort, you said y'all are kind of iffy on it, things like that. Like one of the things, and I've talked about this when we've talked about nostalgia in the past, is I try to hold on to what we can. Um, and there's that little bit of childlike Joe that still looks forward to gifts under the tree at Christmas time. That waking up and like, yeah, Courtney and I will get the gifts wrapped before Christmas. It's not like there's Christmas Eve, there's no gifts, and Christmas morning, there's gifts. You know, and by Christmas Day, like, the dogs have maybe done chewed on them or played and tore into them or something like that. But there's still that little bit of nostalgia. That's still that little bit of like joy, of presents under the tree. And that's one of the big reasons that we do it. And really, let's be honest, it's probably me more than Courtney. She she'd be like, here, and then she'd be fine, you know. But as I've gotten older, I've also realized that Christmas has gotten a little tedious. We didn't put our Christmas tree up until, let me rephrase that. I didn't put our Christmas tree up until the 22nd, I think. Um, just every time we go to do it, Courtney would be like, nah, I don't really feel like doing it. No, and I'm not, that's not me pushing anything on her or anything like that. She just didn't feel it this year. But once it was up, she came home from work. I put it up when she was at work, and she was all like, "Oh, it's so nice and it's pretty," and she got the feels. And we did some cooking and stuff like that. So, but I think the thing that as an adult now that makes me enjoy the Christmas time is I am one of them people that when Christmas music does start on the radio, that's almost all I listen to. And by the day after Thanksgiving, there's 5 stations I can pick up locally that play nothing but Christmas music. And one of them is it's a Christian radio station, and they play a lot more of the old stuff that I remember as a kid, and some more of the religious style Christmas songs. And I tend to, and then new religious Christmas stuff, and I tend to really listen to that a lot more. And so I love doing that. I love cooking at the Christmas time, and just like, y'all can see I wear glasses. Sitting at my tree at night with like Christmas music on low, and just taking off my glasses and just letting the incandescent lights just kind of blur, and then wrapping Christmas gifts to Jingle All the Way. Like I thoroughly enjoy that. Like it scratches my brain in all the right ways. You know. So what y'all got?
I mean, I'm big on Christmas, right? It's all about tradition, right?
Mm,
Upholding the traditions that my parents did with me, right? So yes, there's a lot of presents in the tree. There's, you know, I need your Christmas list. We need to write a list. You gotta write your letter to Santa. You know, I still make my 16-year-old write a letter to Santa. Just because we have the 8-year-old who still believes, right?
that's awesome.
So, traditions, going to see the Rockettes, Radio City Music Hall every year. Um, trying to get down to Dyker Heights in Brooklyn to see the lights. There's certain things that I try to do every year. Um, Christmas tree goes up weekend of Black Friday, right? Whether it's Friday, Saturday, depending on what we're doing, it's that weekend tree goes up.
Mhm.
The lights in the windows go up before Thanksgiving. Um, I'll have them up maybe 2 weeks after Halloween, mid-November. I'll have the lights in the window up. And yeah, it's still every present under the tree has Santa's name on it, every single one,
Yep.
except for
Same.
one gift. There's one gift from me to everybody. And we just split it around, right? There's a gift from my son, there's a gift from my daughter, a gift from my wife. Like that's it. Those gifts are put, those gifts go under the tree Christmas Eve, right? Or a couple days before, as the wrapping is getting done, those gifts will go under the tree early, right? So there's always gifts. There's gifts under the tree about 2 weeks before Christmas. There's already starting to be some gifts. Um, yeah, and your Christmas list, your letter to Santa does is it all comes from Santa, right? I don't put my name on it on
Mhm.
anything. The big thing that she wanted this year, those who've been paying attention, was that 2 foot fucking tall Labubu. Right? Yeah, I'm not ashamed to say I spent over $300 on a on a Labubu for her. The shoe she's carried ever. She took it to her. We went to New Year's Eve. We went to um, her grandmother's house, my mother-in-law's house, and she took it with her. She put it in the back seat. She put a seatbelt on it. Like it was a big hit. And this does go to and this was a gift from Santa, right? It's, as my thing is, as long as they can believe, let them believe.
Mm.
This world is hard enough as it is. Let them believe in something for as long as they fucking can. Um, and that's how my parents were. We didn't have a lot. We didn't grow up in a house with 12-foot ceilings and an attic. Those who I grew up in what was known at the time as a tenement building. And we went from the tenements to the projects, which was actually a step up from where we were born. We didn't have there were no vacations, there were no this, no that. We had very little money, so my mother would do Christmas shopping year round, and it would be stored in my grandmother's house. She was literally buying presents for us all year round as she could, knowing that that's the only way they could get it done. So there's a lot of appreciation for what they did for us. I did have a lot of fucking toys. I'm not gonna lie. They were good on that, but I always felt part of it was guilt for having to struggle so hard when we were younger and when I was a kid. They made up for Christmas and birthdays and stuff. They did whatever they could to make us to give us as much as possible.
Mm.
Um, so I'm used to big Christmases, right? It's something me and my wife had to deal with when we first got together. She came from a household where she might have 3 or 4 gifts, right? Growing up, that's just how her family was. That was not me. You know? And this was a fight that I was not willing to. You know how they say pick your battles.
Hmm.
This was not the battle. This wasn't a battle that I refused to lose. And she's kind of. It took her years to get on board, but now she just rolls her eyes and just like whatever. She's like, I told you not to buy it as a Momo. You shouldn't have bought it. I said, well, I bought it anyway. She just rolls her eyes. Um, but yeah, so it's just to me, it's all about the traditions. Thanksgiving, my mother always had the tree up. If we were hosting Thanksgiving, right? The tree was up for Thanksgiving. It was up in time for Thanksgiving. If we weren't hosting, then it would go up the day after Thanksgiving. Um, so yeah, I just try to instill those same traditions so that they have those same memories that I do. That's all I'm trying to do here.
Yeah, we've tried to do the same thing with the tree over the years of either Thanksgiving night it goes up, and we always watch in this order Christmas Vacation and a Muppets Christmas Carol while we're putting the tree up. And we always finish about halfway through Muppets Christmas Carol. And this year, again, just it didn't. Neither one, both of us had a hard time getting in that mood. Um, but it also was Thanksgiving was Thursday. We left Friday morning for Pennsylvania. Was up there all weekend. The following week, I'm sorry, following weekend, we both went our separate ways to different conventions. And then that following weekend, one of the other things that we do that's turned into a tradition for us is we head down to Richmond and we'll just hit up various shops that we do every year. Like it doesn't have to necessarily be Christmas themed shops that we do. And we always end at Short Pump Town Center, which is a huge outdoor mall, for lack of a better term, and walk around there. And they've got it's all done up real pretty for Christmas and whatnot. But so we did that following Saturday. So that left, because it was so short between Thanksgiving and Christmas, you know. But but that's awesome.
No, and I get it. I get some years it feels like more of a struggle than other years. Like this year, from some reason, it felt a little hard to get into the mood, get in the spirit of everything. But
I think it's
I
because
try not to let them see that.
yeah,
Still, like we still got to do this. We're gonna go do this. We're going here. We're going there. We're doing this. We're doing that.
yeah,
Even if I have to, in my mind, I'm like, I feel like I'm forcing myself to.
yeah.
Because
No, I get it. I think part of it is just because we as a society and we as individuals are constantly getting hammered now with so much horrible shit that's going on in the world. Um, it's hard to see the good when there's so much crap. I mean, you got to look for it. But one thing I've learned is like the more you do it, the more you look for the good, the easier it is to spot. And like Courtney's got on my butt because I just stopped watching the news because what the hell ever's going to happen is going to happen. I have no say in it. I, and she was irritated at something earlier this week, and I was like, "What are you irritated about? What are you talking about?" And she's like, "This is happening, and this is happening, and this." She goes, "Maybe if you watch the news, you know." And I'm like, "Yeah, I probably would." Um, but then it's just going to live rent free in my head, and I'm gonna worry about it. There's only one thing that lives rent free in my head that I worry about. It's one of those things like I will stay awake at night, and it's the asteroid hitting the Earth, which I have literally no control over whatsoever. You know, but she always likes pointing out, "Hey, did you hear there's a new one? It's supposed to hit in 2029, or it's going to get real close, or whatever." And then like there's another one in 2031 when I retire. I'm like, "Well, that's what will happen. I'll retire Wednesday, and then on Thursday they'll come out and say, 'Hey, we're going to be non-existent in 24 hours.'" Um, but for good or for bad, like I told her I was like, you know, but I mean, it's getting harder and harder to avoid it. Um, when most of the time, the only reason I'm online with Facebook and stuff is just when I'm bored. And I've noticed, and I know you can go to just your friends feed, um, but the main feed where it's got a bunch of crap mixed in, it's just so much negativity. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's stuff in there about gardening and bread making and cooking that I enjoy, but there's still so much crap and so much horrible stuff. And then if you get into the reels, it's just awful. Real shorts, whatever you want to call them. I am not on TikTok, but those that style. So Christmas is that time of year to try to put out that joy, but also try to find it more. So that's awesome. That I love that you make the 16-year-old still do the letter for the 8-year-old, and I think it's cool that your 8-year-old still believes in Santa. That no one has ruined that.
oh, I'm sure it's gonna come soon.
It may be.
Especially with her being in public school and being around all different kids from different walks of life.
Oh,
You know,
dude, I've seen
so
like 5-year-olds ruin it for 4-year-olds, and like 5-year-olds are like just getting sassy. Like, what are you stupid? Are you a child? Are you a baby? I'm like fucking just step on that. Step on what makes them happy. So, you got anything else, EE, or we're gonna pass it to Gort?
you pass it, Gort.
Uh, I mean, not a whole lot exciting to say. Like other holidays would be like bigger family gathering wise. It would be smaller for us, and a lot of the time, or for the longest time, um, we moved around a lot when I was a little kid. But we were in one spot for a while, and we always went over to the neighbors. Um, and they always had like, man, that tree. I feel like that tree was like 20 feet tall. Like, it was always just massive, right? But like it's just like big Italian family kind of situation, and I just remember the lasagna the best, and that's all you know,
That's
that's all long gone now, but that's all I would like again.
Christmas lasagna.
Oh my god, yes.
So was it that? Was there something special about it, or was it like they only have lasagna on Christmas, or was it just
Man,
like,
I'll just say all of the above. It was
yeah?
fucking amazing.
Augie, you tell that to a 5-year-old. So, but yeah. Um, and one other topic I kind of thought about and was kicking around, and we've got some time. If y'all are down for it, it'll probably be fairly quick. Y'all down for it or no?
Go ahead.
So, do you all think we're starting to see somewhat of a resurgence in third party stuff? Like, I'm not trying to bring this to Transformers E, but it's going to be, so deal with it. Um, so like, what kind of made me think about this? I put it in the group chat earlier this week, where Rising Force is now doing, which I think is pretty cool.
The Bruticus,
Yeah, the Fall of Cybertron Bruticus. It's in Legend scale.
you know,
Now it's Rising Force.
exactly.
Um,
I saw the picture, and perhaps I was like, oh, and then you see Rising Force, you're like, oh,
oh yeah.
yeah.
But I say that to say this is I feel like we're getting a lot more of these companies coming out now. Like they're starting to gain some traction. Craftsman Toys, Bingo Toys, those kinds of things. It's not just being relegated to Fans Toys, and then we're avoiding the Fans Toys name company because we don't want to piss off Hasbro and X Transbots. It's you're starting to see some other companies come into to kind of start getting a footing. Do you think this is going to have third party stuff continuing on? Do you think this is just going to be a flash in the pan? Do you think this is going to be they'll come in, they'll supplement a little bit, or they'll do their own take on whatever, and like you got DX9 / Magic Square kind of coming back, um, I'm not counting Make Toys because Make Toys might as well just be like a subsidiary of TF Source. No shade, but they're a one trick pony at this point. There's nothing new there.
You don't like Seekers?
I when I found or when I saw those Seekers, I think it was in 2017, 2019. I know it was in Reston in at TF Con. That's when I first saw them, and I was so blown away by them that I was like, "Holy shit!" I'm like, "I need this. These look awesome." I was just in awe. Like I went and got Courtney. Courtney gives two shits about this. Courtney gives two shits about the conventions at that point. She doesn't know, she doesn't know the Realm people, right? She doesn't have any friends there, so she's mainly out shopping, going to the Smithsonian Zoo, museum, stuff like that, right? But I told her, I said, "You've got to see this. Like, come look at this pebble I found, And I go to the security person at the front. I'm like, "Look, I want to show her this because I think this is so freaking cool." I'm like, "I'm taking her right there. She doesn't have a pass." I said, "I'm going to take her in. I'm going to show her this. And then she'll be coming right back out. You've got my word on it." She's got no desire to mingle with these people. And they're like, "Okay." And I mean, yeah, they do stand there watching from the doorway, but I'm like, "Look how cool this is. And this is this, and this is this. Um, and back then, yes, I was very much in awe of them. Um, do I think what they're doing with the colorverse stuff is kind of neat? If you're a seeker person, yeah, I think it is pretty cool. But the fact that they're being shipped in plastic containers and people are opening them up and the pieces are either snapped off, popped off, they're broken, whatever the case may be, that mold has got to be, like throwing a hot dog down a hallway at this point.
Oh,
And
dude, they're molded duct taped together, I'm sure.
yeah, so I mean, I like it, but it is what it is at this point, you know. And even if you look at TF source, like only 200 made or only 500 made or whatever that low production number is, inevitably, I guarantee you could go there. I'm sure they've got a sale. I'm sure, and no shade to TF source, but I'm sure there is some sale going on their site right now, and you could probably find multiple show exclusives for at or on the sale price. You know, so you have any thoughts on that? Not to make toy stuff specifically, but these other companies coming into this, like, is this something that could prolong?
I think
If
what's
they're,
interesting. Okay,
it,
Gort.
I mean, really, just if they're making, filling in all like the gaps or making things that haven't been made, or say in the case of that Bruticus, Hasbro did it. It wasn't good. It's janky trash. Then you had a company make a new Onslaught at one point. That was Microblaze, and it was shit. I had that. That was probably the most frustrating transformation in my existence. Just trying to get that thing to the like the Bruticus body, the torso, let alone trying to attach everything correctly. Audrey had to come over and tell me to put it down, and I did have to pick it up the next day to try again because I like it just didn't work, and it was insanity. I got rid of that thing pretty quick, but when you're coming in and you're fixing these sort of situations or whatever, and this one, because it's a Legends thing, it's not even in the larger scale, um, like the Planet X, for example. Um, I don't know that it does or doesn't fit in, but I think that if it did well, or other people want to start that trend, like start making those Follow Cybertron little baby ones, that would be cool. Like there's these avenues that you can take and do this stuff, and there's a lot of cartoons and things that have had very little from third party, and some of them do have relatively articulated or decent toys. They don't really need to get third party, but I think that if people did it, they would buy it because no one can help themselves. If it's just that much nicer, it's 10% better, must have. But I think that when you start doing all that, and you get the more you get away from G1, that's where all that longevity and new life is, because
So
people
you
do
think
want that stuff.
so you think the companies basically it's not so much it's what line they go in that could help the longevity of it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like if you're doing a lot of if you're doing the right amount of cherry picking, like you'll do well. But that's what some of these companies did do, and it is very niche. Um, I would say Planet X again, like having stuck with War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron aesthetic, they were in one lane, and it was doing okay, but then they slowed down. I don't know that product was doing well or not, but they slowed down. The releases were coming slower.
Mm.
In some cases, I would say they didn't pick the right ones fast enough too.
Yeah, that was a good line. That was a good line.
Yeah, it's not bad product.
I think
Like
it's
it's all
interesting.
good stuff.
These companies that you mentioned, Bingo, Craftsman, um, they're coming out with Legends first, right?
Hmm.
Magic Square was a Legend Scale company first. Now they're delving into these combiners for MP scale. New Age is, you know, the, the, the whole, like Gore said, the holes are there, right? For G1, right? If I'm a new company coming in, making a Masterpiece Devastator is fucking stupid. Same thing with a Masterpiece Bruticus at this point in a master. It's stupid. Why? So many people have them, or so many versions are out now. What are you missing? As a new company, what should you be doing? Focus on the holes. Where's your Bruticus? I mean, where's your Predaking? Where's your Abominus? Right? Um,
Uh-huh.
I don't think third parties going anywhere. I think these new companies have to do kind of like what Gord said, stick in their lane, right? If you're like they're doing the like you said, the War for Cybertron right now,
Yeah. Like pick the right toy line or cartoon, however
and
you
and,
want
and
to
but
look at it.
stick with it. Don't use this to then make money on this and then go another route because it's where you really want to go. You're not gonna survive. It's not gonna work for you. We don't need another masterpiece Ironhide. We don't need these anymore. You know, we
What if
need
what if
these.
this one? But what if they do an Ironhide with skis instead of a sled? Like, are
You
you
know,
sure? Are you
I
sure we
mean,
don't need it?
you know, you need to stick to your lane. Um, Planet X stuck to their lane very well for a very long time. Fansoys sticks to their lane, right? They do G1 stuff. That's what they do. That's what they give you. Um, and it works. Uh, Besides that, I mean, I think there's always going to be third party, and we'll see an influx of new companies and companies that were around for a while and didn't make it. Yes, you got DX9 coming back, but it's if I and correct me if I'm wrong, DX9 came back starting with Legends again.
Yeah,
They announced a bunch of those Legends figures that I don't even know if they ever came out. To be honest with you, um, but
There's a lot of stuff that's been announced across the board from everybody
yeah,
that's never seen the light of day.
exactly. But I mean, it's nice to see some of the older companies make a comeback. But that being said, I don't want to see another masterpiece Bruticus. I don't. I don't want to see another Legend scale Bruticus. To be honest, I mean, at least this is Warfor's Cybertron, right?
I mean,
mm,
I'm
it's
gonna
Ball
tell
of
you what,
Cybertron. Yeah,
with how well a lot of the Chug stuff does in general, like across different brandings and such, I'm surprised the third party isn't just making that stuff
yeah.
closer to that Hasbro aesthetic or styling for any variety of characters. Doesn't have to be specifically like G1 cast.
I think the only one you're even really doing that for is like New Age came out with that Megatron, but
Yeah,
Kang Toys aren't they doing a? They're doing a Chug scale for their Dinobot combiners, but they're also doing like a MP, a Chug, and then a Legend scale for them.
yeah. But that Megatron you said, that's actually a pretty good example of what I mean. Like stuff that's more in line like that.
Mm,
Some of these combiners that haven't been done yet or even teased by Hasbro, you do like a nice Computron or the Abominus or Predaking or whatever, in that smaller scale. Because like Predaking had like the big one, like Combiner Wars or whatever.
mm,
What good is that? It doesn't. It doesn't go with anything. And that was not a bad product either. It's just it's really big and doesn't make sense. Or just the same. Nobody really did the other way there. Make things more appropriate in that scale, like a matching aesthetic though. Like we do have like Generation Toy and things that are of a comparable scale there, but they don't look right with Jug. I don't think they look right with Masterpiece either. I'm thinking of like a Gravity Builder as an example. It's not to say it's good or bad or anything. It just doesn't. I think aesthetically it doesn't fit with a lot of things.
mm.
That's actually what hurts a lot of third party, in my opinion. Is what does it go with? What does it work with? It's not always about the scale. Sometimes it is specifically the look. Doesn't look
Yeah.
right.
I don't. God, what is the name of the company? Great Work Studio is doing a Legend scale Predaking, right? I just purchased um the figure on Show Z. It's only like $30. So I don't know what the quality of this is gonna be, right?
Hmm.
It's shipped already. We'll we'll see, but I don't. We'll see what we get, right? Because we don't have a proper G1 Predaking yet
Hang on, just
in Legend scale. Um,
Scott. Can you share your poll results with me to verify that value? I mean, I would say you're probably right, but third party people that are buying all the Masterpiece stuff and all that, like a lot of them do buy all the Chug shit too. So like
uh,
either way, the market's there, and if you are making the right stuff, And if the price is right, I think people are just going to buy it anyway. Look how expensive Chug is already. People buy that shit.
Mm.
Just to answer your question, 2000X motion line. If we're talking about what's coming from Mattel directly, they're not going to scale with Origins. I mean, with Masterverse, because they're more Origin scale, so they're more shorter. And if you're talking about what Mondo's doing, um, I think they'll scale right height wise. I believe they're pretty tall. But no, I'm not collecting the one. I'm not paying $120 each for one of those figures from Mondo. So it's a little too pricey, in my opinion.
Yeah, like mainline is getting to the point with me where I've only got a handful more figures that I'm getting, and then I think I'm good. You know, like I had like 100, excuse me, $100 was what that New Age Megatron was, and I agree with Scott that that would be a hard sell every time. Your big characters, you could probably get away with that. You know, like your primes, your meg, your main core class. Um, but I'm at that point where I've told y'all about my collection downstairs, the one where like you know, here's the best version of. I, I find things to be getting to that point where it's gonna be harder for them to get a better version of this figure out. So I don't really have to worry about swapping. Um, and I went through and I looked, and it's really just the mini bots now, and it's Swerve, which will be a repaint, and we've already I showed pictures of y'all for that for wherever that was overseas for that uh, like collector con or whatever it is. So that was a repaint of gears. We knew we were getting that. Um, Outback is coming. Wind Charger's coming, and if you get a Wind Charger, you're gonna get a tailgate. So that more or less does them, and then the new combiners, and that's it. You know, I think I'm good after that. I don't really don't, and I think I'm at that point where I'm going to be happy to be in good. You know, I want to work on getting this stuff up, getting this stuff displayed, and eventually just sitting back, looking at the fruits of my labor, and basking in something that you know brings me joy for 10 minutes. Um, but I'm in terms of these new companies coming out. I do I what's the word I'm looking for here? Options are good, choices are good. The more you have, the better. It helps make the next company do their product better, ideally, right? If you know that you've got two other companies competing in the same space you are for a similar or same product, you want your product to be the best version of that thing, right? Um, and so, and Jeff, you don't know that my OnlyFans numbers would prove you wrong. So, uh, you know, I'd love to see more competition because I want better quality, better options, better prices, and yeah, am I going to get all those? No. I want Devastator Wars all over again. No.
Just imagine if there was no competition and we were still getting X2 toys quality.
Eye gear.
Ugh.
My eye gear seekers were my seekers for a while. I still got them. I have art. Like I need to get rid of them, but who wants them? You know what I mean? So, uh,
just buy some firecrackers and have some fun one day.
set them off on 4th of July. So
Make sure to film it. Yeah.
come crashing down to some.
Make them display
part of it.
pieces in your garden outside.
Yeah, exactly. 4th of July. Starscream's red, white, and blue. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. Use them as scarecrows.
There you go.
So, but no, I mean, in terms of stuff for the new year, I am looking forward to my garden. I am expanding it a little bit. I do have to watch out. Like it's one of those things. Like most of my free space is in the front of my house, and where my garden's at is where I want my garden because it gets the most sun. But that's where I've also got the least amount of space between my house, like usable space between the house and the property line. And I measured it out a couple days ago where I was going to put everything, and then I'm like, the the edge of it, the border I'm putting around, it's going to be at the property line, and I don't exactly know where the property line's at. The people that live there, prior to the people now, like he told me where the property line was ish, because there's a chain link fence in their backyard, and he was like, yeah, it's 6 to 12 inches past that. Now, is that true? I don't know. Is it right on the property line? He kind of hinted at that as well, so I don't know. I should probably get it surveyed, but um, I know I should be well off the property line, so I do have to finagle with that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Our brains are wired for dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin hits for reward centers, and we, and I might be getting a little deep here for a Friday night at almost 11, but we have become such a instant gratification society that our brains, some people's brains, are constantly getting hit with dopamine releases to where it's just normal now. You're just operating in that. And if you don't get that, you go into withdrawal. And what's great about this gardening stuff I found is like last year when I did it, when I started getting sprouts for whatever, insert random vegetable, it was just freaking exciting, and like, oh, hey, look, when freaking watermelon started forming, and then watching it go from like this little tiny marble thing to, something that I'm cutting up and enjoying them and just best watermelon ever. So, but I'm just prepping so I can, when I retire, I can just live off the land, be independent, and don't have to worry about people, you know, and that can help reset that oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin hit is the long-term rewards. So, but anyway, anything in the coming year y'all want to see?
Uh,
Are you looking
I
forward
like,
to, or
I like, I like, I like transparency. I want to see more transparency from companies. I want to see more. This is what we're working on. This is our plan. This is the pipeline. These are the rent. Kind of the way Hasbro does it. They give you those live streams. They let you know what's coming up. Gives you an idea what the plans are. I wish we saw that from more third party companies. I know we never will, but like it would be nice to know, especially like from these new companies, what your plan. Hey, our plan is to make all the Planet X figures. Okay, great. Maybe I'll give them a shot. Our plan is to make a bunch of, Aldi, like me and Gordon buying all these things. I'd love to know if they plan on making combiners or not. We don't know yet. I assume they will, but I don't like assuming. I want to know.
mm,
I want to know what your plan, at least what your plan is. Like, yes, this is what we're focusing on. This is what we're going to do. That's what I want more companies to do. I think it benefits them when people haven't had that idea on what's coming and what you're going to do.
mm. And are you just talking about like in the
I'm talking about
collection?
all companies, also all these toy companies in general.
Yeah.
I
Do you
wish
think?
they did more of the, you know, information sharing with fans. I'm not asking you for your fucking profit margins and shit like that. I just want to know what your plan is.
Yeah.
This year we plan on trying to get out X, Y, and Z. At the very least, you know, was what I would like to see.
Yeah. Last year we heard, and I'm asking this question. Last year we heard Magic Square saying we're putting out Dinobots and a combiner.
And
That's
they did.
they did. Everyone assumed to be a legend scale.
Exactly. I was a little
Um,
disappointed it wasn't a legend
yeah,
of a legend scale, but
but have they said have y'all, has anyone, chat squad
I, ha-
included,
I
heard
haven't heard
anything
anything.
like that?
Magic Square has significantly slowed down their legend scales since they started fucking around with MPs,
Yeah.
which kind of aggravated me as a company. You guys were you were moving at a great pace. You were doing so well. And it's like, now we're going MPs. Like, oh God, here we go again.
Yeah, yeah. I'm hoping for. I'd love to finish off the like if I didn't get anything else for my shelf other than I think the Decepticons are done, but just that season one art crew and then a cherry pick of the couple others that are up there. Um, I just want to finish off. If nothing else, I want to finish off that art crew.
Yeah.
So, but in terms of Magic Square, New Age, whoever, but it's hard for their different scales. So,
Hmm.
Gort, what about you?
What I look forward to? I don't know. What would I like to see? I don't know. I don't know. Guess nothing.
Not even Christmas lasagna, huh?
No,
No.
no, that's off the menu.
Tell you, you come down for Christmas, I'll make you lasagna,
Oops.
and
Okay, deal.
I can use my grown tomatoes, my oregano, thyme, all that stuff. You know, Uh, I'll get some goats. We'll make some cheese. You know, but and I have looked into cheese making. So, Brink, you're asked what's there left to make Legend scale. I think if you're looking at a whole across the board, probably you've got. I think you know DX9's coming in with some of the headmaster stuff. Um, and but like New Age hasn't finished. I know for my end stuff, they haven't finished their art box stuff because we still don't have like at least a Wheeljack and a Sunstreaker, and I'm sure probably someone else from Magic Square. So I know,
Magic Square has not given you a Sunstreaker.
yep,
They have not given you a smokescreen, and you're still missing combiners. To go from there, Magic Square has not given. You don't have your movie bots from Magic Square, all of them. No one's given you an Ollie yet. No one's given you a Wreck Guard yet. Neither one has done a Hot Rod or Prime or Rodimus. So there's a lot of holes still in Magic Square. I mean, in Legends from just those two main companies alone.
yeah. So I apologize. Whoever Pool QM40G is, I don't recognize the picture with the hat.
That's Calais.
Oh, okay. Um, but it's funny you say it because my wife does not. My wife does not have the patience for Legos, and she gets very frustrated with stuff like that. It's just too tedious for her. But one, there's not a whole lot of Stargate stuff out there for her that she hasn't already kind of gotten, or at least gotten some version of. But I found a Lego Stargate and got her that. It was like a knockoff Lego, and she was very excited about that. But she got very into a Lego
It's not.
Wildflower set,
It's not knockoff. It's third party.
third party. That's right. Um, but so I got her that, and she was actually pretty excited to put that together. So, uh, uh, Jeff, I think that'd be EE.
What?
He asked who was outside.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Um, but yeah, I've gotten into Legos the last half of this year, and I don't know why. But Gord, is that something you're interested in? Or is that a
I do. So I do the Lego flowers and like plants and whatever. I build those with my mom. And as far as what I'm into, as far as Lego, it's more on the vintage side of things. I'll use modern. Uh, so Lego discontinues colors periodically, and they'll have a new color as a replacement. So using like new color bricks, not like vintage grays and stuff, but like I build new castles, but based on vintage themes. So I still collect the old figures, but I'm building with like newer bricks. So I don't use like old pieces.
Gotcha. I want to go back and
And
try.
I mean specifically like 80s, 90s pieces. Like they changed the colors, a lot of them like early mid 2000s.
Gotcha. I kind of want to go back and get some old. I don't know if it's pirate or Caribbean sets, or whatever.
Yeah, they had the Pirates and Islanders, and you had like your I don't know, faux British and French people.
Yeah. I
to
think
go
that's
with
what it
it,
was like.
the
Recently,
conquistadors.
recently they put out like the El Dorado Fortress,
Yes.
and they just retired like that theme.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. I did pick that one up.
I wish I had. I wish I had.
Yeah, that's retired last year, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
screwed.
done.
Yeah, I'm screwed. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
you
already
don't want to
seen.
pay the late tax.
Oh hell no. No, I'll be fine. But like I
Yeah.
had a bunch of the smaller sets, like like the little jail in the island and like lookout point. I can't remember what they're called, but I thought they were cool. But um, but I think we're at an hour and 40 minutes. I think it's a good place to call it unless anyone
You
else
know
is.
what? That's what I'd like to see. I want to see Lego bring back the classic themes. I don't like any of their licensed shit. I think it's boring and lacks any and all imagination. I
Mm.
would like to see, like the pirates and like the old space shit, like Space Police, Ice Planet. Like I love all those old themes.
Oh, dude, I had
Now
Mtron and Blacktron. Love them.
right? Yeah. But the closest that you get now is city space, and it's more realistic. Or
Yeah.
they had the last like year or two, they've had a space theme, but it's across the brandings. So you have like the creator space set, the city space set, the this space set, like, and it's like different age groups and stuff. And it's not the worst thing they've done, but it's not like, to me, it's misguided. I want like centralized themes based on all these old, like kind of generic properties. Because I feel like that's the core of what made Lego fun, is that you had your imagination. There is no fiction for any of that stuff. It's whatever you make up. And probably one of the most interesting things you get is people will, jot down their head canon. It's like a lot of Lego groups and
Yeah.
stuff that I'm in, and nobody has the same ideas. Some are similar, but everybody's got their own wild ideas of how all this stuff comes together, because it doesn't make sense the way that a lot of that, especially the castle themes, a lot of that stuff doesn't make sense when you're
Yeah.
looking at the package art.
So you bring up something, and I know I said just about ending the show, but I'm thinking about something here. They obviously we didn't have smartphones growing up. We didn't even have internet really growing up for most of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until we got older. I think the issue that people are running into is they lack imagination. They don't want to take the time to come up with who this person is in their own world or what this group is in their own world. It's simpler to just look it up and that, or to just go with the flow. Everything comes with a pre-done, money aside, right? Because I'm sure they're making a crap ton of money on Star Wars Legos,
Mm-hmm.
Marvel Legos. I don't question that. Um, but I think I'll be honest. I think a lot, like, with as technology's gotten more accessible and easier to use, and as parents have given their kids access to this is what kids focus on. Again, going back to this, we're wired for dopamine, and these kids are getting a crap ton of dopamine hits by the likes, the shares, all this stuff that they're doing online. That they get out of toys sooner, so they don't develop that play either with themselves or group, others, whatever. That they don't develop that imaginational skill,
Mm-hmm.
let alone want to take the time to do it. And that might be why it's not there anymore.
I don't know.
It's Lego, Disney,
Yeah.
Marvel, whoever can't make money off kids making up their own fanfic. But if we tell them what the fiction is or what's established,
Well, I mean, we hear it often. People don't want to get into a great, cool, amazing looking toy line because they don't know the fiction, or they don't have an attachment to it, or whatever. And as we're older, I think it makes more sense there than, say, as opposed to a young person saying that,
mm,
because you got plenty of time to make that attachment or try to get into something.
yeah. Well, I mean,
But
how many people do you know that they're getting into One Piece recently?
that would be a good example.
You know,
Yeah. But like, just on that imagination side, like, look, man, I grew up playing with wood blocks and Lincoln logs and shit, and I had a little Imperial Godzilla and all the, like the $2 knockoff dinosaur things, and
Mhm.
I'd break the city.
Yeah.
Like, make your own fun. I don't need to be told how to play with toys.
Yeah, like I see kids. I've got some sixth and seventh graders that still bring um, and carry stuffed animals with them to school, right? And I know this is going to. I don't mean know my heart, not my words. There are some kids that bring Legos to school, and those kids tend to be in sped light classes, right? They've got to have like an assistant with an adult basically stays with them all throughout the day to some level. Not all of them, but a good chunk of them. And there, other than that, I've only seen 3 kids with toys, and they're sixth graders this year, and it's Sonic stuff, right? They got some Sonic figures they play with at lunch. But that's it. Like I remember in seventh grade, okay, going back to the Lego space stuff. I remember in seventh grade, like we had to do this essay of what we were looking forward to for Christmas, and I was like that I was putting in. You remember Mtron?
Yeah.
There was 3 or 4 of their ships that I was looking forward to getting, and one of them I specifically remember the Stellar Recon Voyager, and I remember like in seventh grade still, getting toys to play with. Now that you don't see that nowadays. Now it's we got a kid who wears a $400 set of headphones to school just as a fashion statement. That's it. We've got several kids that bring $300-400 pairs of shoes to school. Don't wear them, just carry them around as an accessory. That's where sixth, seventh, and eighth graders are at nowadays. Well, those kinds of things, and it's just I don't know. It's weird. I think it's that access to the technology to where it's just this is what gets them the dopamine hit better. But anyway, anyone else got anything else to add for the night?
You were already meaning to tie it up, and I just kept you going. Sorry.
No. I think it was good.
I got nothing else.
I'll stand here and talk all night. Y'all know that. It's just I'll find stuff to talk about.
No,
But,
I'm good. I mean, last thing I'll say for all you companies out there, toy companies, I know you're listening to us. Bring back your humanoids. Thank you.
dude, I'm still waiting on friggin' Ramen to finish the friggin' Doc Terror. It's the last one I need.
Fuck him.
I don't want it, and you can't make me.
Fuck him. Fuck his company. Fuck his toys.
So,
Fight.
but anyway, well, from everybody here and Wolfie in jail, we hope y'all all have a wonderful year, a new year. Hope you get everything that you want. And thanks for hanging out with us on Friday night. We appreciate y'all.
Yep. Looking forward to 2026. We promise we'll try not to be do more than just enough going forward.
I make no promises.
All right, y'all have a good night. Peace out. See y'all in 2 weeks. Keep an eye, I guess, we're doing hangout afterwards.
Yeah.
All right, keep an eye out in the group chat.
Can you press the button, Court?
Yeah.
Say it with me now.
Round